Ask any kid and there's a big chance that yes, they like the moon. So maybe that's enough for me to state right now that loving the moon is embedded in our DNA somehow. I used to have trouble sleeping as a kid. I always eventually went to bed, but every night after my parents had tucked me in and said goodnight, I got up, walked to the window in my room and observed what our street looked like at night. Of course, there was artificial light there, lampposts, but everything looked, felt, and even smelled different. Quieter, cooler. If a person would walk by, you could just really feel his footsteps inside your ears as opposed to not even noticing that during the day. The slightest movement would have a greater impact. Everything is hidden in the darkness, yet some things appear much clearer and sharper than during the day, where our primary sense of sight is probably the one working most of the time. At night, all of our other senses take over. So no wonder so many of us think and feel better during the hours of the night. I consider myself a night person. That doesn't mean I do most of my work at night. Not at all. I take sleep very seriously. These past few nights, actually, I think for a week now, I've been experiencing waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning. But it's okay. I know it will get back to normal. But when I had this problem last year and I couldn't fall asleep for the life of me until probably right before my alarm went off at 6:30, it was due to work stress. And I actually went to the doctor for it because I was sleep deprived and I wasn't doing my best work. I wasn't doing my best anything. And they told me to take magnesium. Okay, it was also due to another type of stress, but that I was able to work out. And let's just say it was a reminder to not let other people walk all over me. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to divide my work week up in different schedule, and now I'm able to enjoy my free time again, and I also don't need to get up that early anymore, which is cool. I've woken up at 6 a.m. every day of the week for a good 5 years during my dance academy pre-education, starting from the age of 12, so I was pretty done with it after that. Basically, usually I enjoy evenings much more than mornings. Why is all of this information relevant? We're talking about the moon, the subconscious, dreams, sleep. Yeah, that's how I got there. Okay. So, am I allowed to call myself a night person? Let's just stick with moon person. The moon is the cosmic mother. To me, for years now, it feels like when I look at the moon, in any stage, she is the embodiment of the goddess, the cosmic mother, an old symbol of divinity that predates Christianity, of course, that was worshipped in nature, in the outdoors, not in a man-made structure, not in a building where you can't see the sky. And when I'm out late at night doing God knows what with friends, and I look up and see her, it feels like she's looking down at me, protecting me, and sometimes I pray or whisper thankful words. And I do that when I'm asking for something as well, when I'm at my tarot table. Usually when I pray, for lack of a better word, pray, it's to her. Or like the whole universe. I do think that women tend to be more in tune with the cycles of the moon. It's the same as the menstruation, as the menstrual cycle. Cycles are reflected in everything in nature. Nature is one big cycle and many little cycles, and a year starts at death, you could say. Just like we could see the cycles of the moon starting at the new moon, as in the cycles of a woman starting at her menstruation. So the concept of seasons are basically a huge fertile woman where a menstrual cycle takes a whole year. I have a few moon cards here. This is the moon in the Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the moon in a typical Marseille, the Camoin-Jodorowsky. This is the moon in the Thoth deck. This is the equivalent of a moon card in the Secret Dakini Oracle. And I also have the Tarot of the Crone moon. Oh yeah, I also wanted to show the Trionfi Della. Can't do a video without it these days. And here's a little monster sleeping with its tentacles still in the water. Or is that another creature approaching him? Who knows? I don't know if I fell asleep or if it was actually a vision that I had, but it felt so real and I felt it all on my skin. So I'm okay with calling it vision. I had a vision with this card in my hand. And I was the crawfish coming out of the water. But I was myself, I think, only I didn't have a body. And I was reflecting light, all of these different colors, every color of the rainbow and even colors we don't know. That's what it felt like. And I was completely nude, but warm and safe. And I feel like that was my soul coming from my previous life to the next life. This is getting so crazy, the things that I tell you, but I think by sharing these things I might help someone see the moon card in a different light. Because I feel it's also kind of a misunderstood card, but I'll get to that later. You know, I saw the towers in the distance. I saw the path, even though I wasn't walking, I was floating. Or my soul feet were were floating. And I saw the wolf and the dog, and I looked in the distance, and I knew that there was this big question being asked. Do you want to move on, or do you want to return? And I felt my heart, and I returned. I went on to my next life, finding love again. Yeah. I don't think I'm crazy. Although you might think I'm crazy now, but this is one of the reasons why I have a special connection to this artwork, because this is why, I don't know, it just brought me there. And I don't know if it was just a dream and I put myself in that dream, but it really felt, you know what I mean? Like it was happening to me. And this is the most woo-woo thing I ever shared on this channel so far. But I can go into detail, but I won't do that to you. It was just really beautiful. I can't explain it, but I can't wait to hear if people have experiences like this as well, you know, especially in relation to a tarot card. So yeah, talking about the tarot moon card, so I am deriving a little bit more, but I'll get to my point. It's still mostly read as fear and is seen negatively and all this scary sounding stuff. So yes, there's a lot of fear embedded in this archetype, but it's the realm of the subconscious. So what do you expect? Fear is a part of that. just like deep inner trust and knowing in your soul is a part of that. Fear is not the main aspect of this archetype here. At least not from my point of view. So I'm aware of the moon, and I don't actively or consciously follow every single cycle, but I often draw a little moon in my tarot journal to indicate what phase we're in. And also last year when I did my year ahead spread, we had the full supermoon, and my intuition was just flying high. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that I love the moon. I wanted to share a few little things about this card. Just the poem that Ellen Lorenzi Prince made for the moon, this particular moon card. I am the queen of ghosts, I welcome your unborn children. I am the mistress of illusions, I command the shadows. I live in your dreams, the nightmare you sweat and long for. Let me carry you away to another world. To me, that's so special, you know. I also have just a few sentences about this card. Soma bears the number 18, signifying the entry of forces from the secret realms of the psyche and the assimilation of these forces as fulfillment. It's the number of higher initiation, suggesting the unfolding of occult powers and a path of spiritual evolution. So a lot of challenges in these cards, right? In the moon card. The moon brings safety as well as fear. The moon brings light because it reflects light, as well as darkness, and in darkness things seem different and distorted and you don't know what it is. So it's very much polarity. I wanted to show you this little crescent that I have tattooed on me, and it's very simple. On this side I have a wave that represents the sea, and I want to add more detail to that one because this one I don't really particularly love anymore. But I got these little tattoos for the obvious moon and sea love affair, if you will. Of course, this union is in some of my favorite songs as well. I'll just share it with you. This is from one of the best rock albums ever made. It's the Captain Beyond self-titled. And they have a song called Astrallady. So if you don't know it and like rock and roll, listen to it, because the whole album is made like an entire song, and yet they've managed to make every track just really good. I think it's from the 60s, I want to say. So just listen to it. Know any other good moon and sea lyrics? Comment them below. Enjoy the new moon, everyone. Even if you can't see her now, she's still there and will return to us quickly. Oh my God. Did you hear that? Yeah, that's what it's like to be an ex-dancer.